It's the motherfucking Eagle Double G. Snoop Dogg.
Hey, everybody, welcome to another episode of Whiskey and Wisdom After Dark. Here with my boy Rusty Nails down there by the river. We got Tristan Dunn in North Carolina and J Love in his man cave here in Bastrop, waiting on Donnie. He's stuck in traffic or he's got some shit going on. But anyway, we're going to keep things rolling here. Guys, I hope everybody's week was great. I know mine was, and I know damn sure J Love's was because Kansas City won and is going to the Super Bowl. But welcome everybody. Thank you everybody for listening in. Make sure you tap the like, share, and if you are listening to us on YouTube, please hit the subscribe button. It doesn't cost you anything, but share us. Hit the share and the like button. We appreciate that. And welcome to another episode. I think this is episode 33. Let's start with what are we drinking tonight? Russell, what are you drinking over there
We're back
on the river? Again.
We're back with the Modelo Chelada, bro. I'm hooked.
Boy, you love that stuff.
I love it. I love it.
You need to get that stock in those things.
I know.
I know, right? Gosh almighty. Taylor, what are you drinking down there in your man cave?
Dude, hey, know your role and shut your mouth. Fucking burrowhead my ass, bitch.
We went ahead and let him just get it out. Get it out now. Get it out now.
No, I'm good. No, I'm kind of taking it easy. A little bit of Caribbean rum with Dr. Pepper. I'm kind of going light.
Nice. Okay. Tristan, when you're on number 9 Bud Light?
Number 7, I'm drinking that redneck shit.
Atta boy. Put hair on your chest instead of just on your chin. Well, I finally went ahead and put my scotch in my, I don't know what you call this, but my mother-in-law got me this for Christmas, so I thought I'd act like a real scotch drinker and put it in that thing. But yeah, it's just Johnny Walker Black. It's the usual, my go-to, the thing that I love to drink. It's Johnny Walker Black.
I've
Those
never
of you who
had
haven't tried it, go ahead and get it.
I've never had scotch before, but I always heard it tastes like ass.
I believe it's an acquired taste.
It is. There's different levels of scotch. I mean, you can get some, some total gut ass tasting shit. But
Cutty Sark is pretty nasty. If you have to twist the top off of it, don't drink it.
Yeah, you're better off.
Okay, so if I want to try some scotch, Rick, what am I buying?
Well, for the price and for the flavor, I like Johnny Walker Black. Macallan's a real good, single blend. One of my favorites is Macallan 18. It's a little pricey. I like that. That's my go-to as far as scotch goes. But if you want just something inexpensive that goes down smooth and still gives you the scotch feel, Johnny Walker Black's good. You can go to red, you can go to Johnny Walker Blue. $100 a shot of that if you want. But I like the black. I like Macallan. If we're gonna party with the Mexicans, I like Buchanan, Bucana, or the way they say Bucana, because they mix that with Topo Chico and lime, and that'll last forever and still get you drunk, and you can still dance the cumbias. But yeah, start with Johnny Walker Black, and then let's go from there, gentlemen. What the fuck? Give me some what the fuck moments. Tristan, you have a what the fuck moment this week?
Probably some bullshit Russell said when we were arguing over text earlier this week.
Nobody's going to cut you off. Go ahead and say what you say. What you want to say.
No, I'm not. I'm just gonna. He was just talking some bullshit. Something about Michael Jordan. I don't know. It doesn't matter. But like after I read it, I was really like, "What the fuck is this guy talking about?"
So for everybody listening, I don't know why he doesn't want to go in depth. So Tristan and Russell have this long-going argument as to who is a better basketball player.
They definitely
is it Michael Jordan? Is it Michael Jordan or is it LeBron James? So
Russell, I was telling Rick on the pregame show, right? I would respect your opinion more had you not said that LeBron's not even in your top 5. That's
He's
bullshit.
not.
I don't know
He's
if you're
not.
just talking shit or if you really meant it.
No, I meant it.
Yeah, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
Can we
Well,
just
I
get
know
it
what
out?
happened in-
Can we get it?
I
Can
know
we
what
get it?
happened. I know what happened in the world before 1997, bro. And I'm just
Fuck you.
telling you.
I was born in 96. Fuck you.
All right, both of y'all, shut up for a minute because I'm going to ask the question. I've got to. I mean, we're gonna get it over. Who are your top 5, Russell? If LeBron's not in the top 5, Russell, name me your top 5
If
My
you had
top 5.
of all time.
No, not even a starting 5. I'm going to go, obviously, Jordan, number 1. I'm going to go Kobe, number 2.
Okay.
Wilt, number 3.
Okay.
Magic Johnson, number 4. And don't sleep on this guy, Tristan, because you don't know about White Lightning. And I might even go Shaq at 6 before I
who's White Lightning?
Yeah, who's White Lightning? It
You broke
out.
up.
Larry Bird.
Okay.
Okay.
No, Larry Bird.
No, that's
don't
fair.
sleep on
That's
sleep
fair.
on Larry Bird. That dude's a bad motherfucker.
No, yeah, and he talked more shit than any other black man on the basketball court in his life.
I will say this though: if Shaquille O'Neal had actually trained, he could have been the best of all time. But he just didn't give a shit.
Yes.
Okay, Tristan, give me your top 5.
LeBron, Michael, Kobe.
Steph.
No. So Steph teeters on the 5-6 line for me. So then it's Larry. I got Larry Bird. Believe it or fucking not, dude. I've watched highlights of Larry. It is fucking nuts. And then I got Kareem, not Kareem. Fucking Magic at 5.
Oh my god, you guys are idiots.
Okay.
Shut the fuck up, Donnie.
Okay.
Won't you focus on driving down your fucking highway?
No, right now he's looking for aliens right now. Welcome to the show, Donnie Betts. He's on his way home from work. He's looking for aliens.
Not work. It was a business networking integration platform.
Shut up. You probably just.
In other words, he was sucking dick, ladies and gentlemen.
In other words, sucking him off, jerking him off.
He was sucking dick.
I was getting drunk and trying to sell some shit.
There you go. And
I already beat you to the drunk thing.
When he says sell some shit, it's not what y'all think.
I was selling some cabinets, my man. My cabinet.
There you go, cabinets. Oh gosh almighty, where was I? You two guys with
we were kind of giving our top 5s.
Okay.
Oh, top 5. I got it.
So that was
top 5.
That was
hang on, I got my top 5.
No, that was okay. Go ahead, give it to us because you were late.
Michael, LeBron, Kobe.
I have before you even go any further. I already have more respect for Donnie than I do Russell.
Kobe.
Shit.
Wilt.
Yes.
Magic.
Okay. So
Russell, the argument that I made earlier was that people that at least have Michael at 1, most of them at least have LeBron at 2, and that
here's
I don't
why
think
LeBron will never
honestly.
Be. Wait.
Go
I'm
ahead,
gonna end
Don.
this.
No. Hold on.
Shut your face.
No, I won't.
I'm gonna end the Michael. I'm gonna end the Michael LeBron argument forever. I'm gonna end it forever.
You probably fucking won't, but just spit whatever bullshit's about to come out of your mouth.
Okay. Michael was the type of players. He was the type of player that players wanted to play with. Meaning, people came to him. People wanted to come to him. LeBron?
That's stupid because everybody wants to play with LeBron. I gotta piss. Your argument's invalid.
No, they don't. Ask Steph Curry if he wants to play with LeBron. He'll be like, oh, fuck no, dude. That guy's a bitch.
Well,
LeBron was a gun for hire. He went wherever the money was and made the best teams wherever the money was. Miami, Cleveland, LA. Michael stayed at the same spot and people came to fucking him. They were like, I want to play with fucking Michael. You don't hear people like Steph Curry going, oh my God, if I could play with LeBron, I could win championships. They're like, I don't need to play with LeBron to win a championship. Kevin Durant doesn't say, I got to play with LeBron to win a championship. In fact, here's the best fucking argument. Kyrie Irving was like, I want to get the fuck away from LeBron.
Well,
So,
What do you got to say?
So, Tristan and Russell, are y'all done with your little feud here?
Oh, no, they're done because I just ended that shit.
At least on
I mean, they'll always have this feud. The reason, so
I
what we're
don't-
doing right now, Donnie,
is
Ron-
bullshit
Donnie,
still
what-
coming out of Donnie's mouth?
Well, no, what we're doing right now, Donnie, is we just got done talking about what we were drinking. We moved on to our what the fuck moment, and Tristan's what the fuck moment.
All right.
Tristan's what the fuck moment was what Russell had said or typed in our deal, and so he couldn't believe what Russell said. So I thought I would go ahead and let's end the feud. Let's give your top fives. Now we know we're in disagreement, or they're in disagreement, and we can just move on because Russell really wants to pound on this kid.
Bad. I do.
Hang on, let me catch up. What I'm drinking, I drank Buffalo Trace early. Then I had Weller Pick Your Own. Then I had some more Buffalo Trace, and then I had Weller 12 Year, and then more Buffalo Trace. And now I'm headed home. Okay. And then my what the fuck moment was, I mean, what the fuck is going on with like crazy police being super brutal? I'm going to be real honest. I know we're going to talk about this later in a different subject, but if you haven't been to a big time gym, like I go to Gold's, police are all now like jacked up on steroids. Like every fucking one of them I see is fucking like jacked up on steroids. Like, has anybody correlated the thought that police may be overly aggressive because they're fucked up on steroids?
The roid rage?
I know. Yeah, it's real, bro. I mean, I got 3 guys that come into the gym all the time, leave their cars running outside because, you got to clock so many fucking hours or whatever, and literally come in and get their fucking pump on. And yeah, I mean, they're 5'7" with 18-inch fucking arms. Yeah, math's fucking hard, bro. Genetics is fucking real. Has anybody thought about that?
Well, I mean, I'll tell you right now, the way they're defending the way they're defending the police everywhere, I would be jacked up. I would be roided up. I would be. Can't blame
Tristan, have you ever seen like a real skinny police officer?
Never in my life.
Are you talking? Are you talking to me?
When I said Tristan, I mean, is your name Tristan or is your name fucking Schnoozleboggle?
I don't know. It could be whatever the fuck you want it to be right now.
All right, Schnoozleboggle. Have you ever seen a fucking fucking
Donnie, you gotta excuse our boy. He's on beer like number 10 right now.
Oh, so he's really on beer 3?
No.
J-Lo, my man. What's up, bro?
What's up, bro? To answer your question, yes, I've seen quite a few skinny cops. I mean, in my prior career, doing what I for 20 plus years, I mean, I've seen them. I've seen them come and go. I've seen some that are, skinnier than Barney Fife and can take down a 6 foot 6 inch, 230-pound dude. It's all a matter of training. I think a lot of it, like you're saying, is I think a lot of the training, some of these guys and girls' heads. But the shitty thing is, I am always 100% going to defend women. However, the fucked up thing about that is you take 10,000 cops and you've got 1 or 2 or 3, and it makes that entire 10,000 look like shit because you've got 1, 2, or 3 that are just fucking retards. Sorry, but they are. In this case, totally roided out of their brains. I see it, and I've seen those too. And I'm like, bro, seriously, do you really have to be like that? And I've had some still good friends to this day that got off the juice and are a completely different person. Still a cop, but their attitude is completely changed. Their character is completely changed. Their demeanor has changed.
Exactly.
They're no longer the got to get my dick hard and go bust some heads kind of thing. It's
Do you
it's not.
think it's and because you're around, I mean, you were around them a lot more than I've ever been. I only see the ones that come in the gym. Do you think it is?
I feel you
Do you
too,
think?
because I see those two. I see those two.
Do you think? Do you think there's more cops on illegal substances for performance enhancing drugs than they're not?
I think
And
it depends. I think it depends on the
the area,
yes. I'm trying to think of the proper word to say.
precinct, or
The demographic.
yeah.
Completely on the demographic and where they
I mean,
are. Now,
I'll be
granted,
honest. I'm
I,
in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. Most of the cops got a gold gym. I mean, I'd probably say out of Murfreesboro police precinct, probably 50% or more go to Golds, and the other ones go to Olympus. And I understand because I've seen it in there. I mean, I've seen bottles of Trin on the fucking back of the commode. I mean,
mhm.
I, I, I can't even comprehend how many officers I've seen that are on roids, and I'm just like,
Yeah.
this is astounding. Like,
I'm
it
saying that
sucks.
it does. I'm not saying that it doesn't exist, because it does. Extremely. I mean, the percentage is quite high. I had a good friend who was cop with Travis County for years. Great fucking dude, man. I mean, he would have given you the shirt off his back, but it had gotten to the point, and his partner, we were all three very close, and him and his partner started to grow distant, and it turned out that he was habitually using. It wasn't just PEDs. I mean, he was starting to get into narcotics. He was into depressants and everything. He was painkillers constantly. He'd had a couple back surgeries. I remember going and seeing him in the hospital after his second back surgery, and he was sitting there, and he was still coherent, but at the same time he was so fucking doped up, but still wanted more.
Yeah,
And I'm like,
yeah.
you're fine. Just let this pass. You'll be fine. They'll give you more, at your 6 hour mark, or every 4 to 6 hours. He goes, no, I need it now. I'm like, no, you don't. And just seeing it was intense. And then as time went on, his partner would come, we would always shoot the shit, and we would spend a couple hours a day just shooting the shit if we weren't at lunch or just out at the range. And so I said, so, how's your boy? And just his face, and you could just tell the look of disgust. What used to be just the look of, man, I got you, I got your back, I got your six 24/7. It turned into just overnight, it seemed, the look of disgust, because it was a completely different person. And you see so many of these movies that have been made along the same lines. Training Day, Internal Affairs, fucking what's the one with Jake Gyllenhaal and that Hispanic, that one, End of
Four
Watch.
brothers.
Shit. See all these movies, and it just depicts the good and the bad. It's true. It does exist. And to watch a friend, a brother go down like that, and to go down the wrong path, and then to eventually watch them at their own demise, and then they meet their maker, and then you funeral, and then you're just lost. It's fucked up, man. It's fucked
No,
up,
I
but
get it. I mean,
it happens all the fucking.
the first thing that I thought of when I saw those pictures of the Memphis cops, I'm like, man, how many of those guys are on roids? Like, it's pretty obvious. I mean,
It's funny that you say that, because my first question was completely different,
what was it?
and it would leave my whole shocking moment, but
that's
your
later.
first
We got to get through the what
Okay.
the fuck
Okay.
moments yet still, but go ahead.
Well, that was my what the fuck moment. All right, my bad. I'm catching up.
No, you've caught up and passed us.
He's on.
Where are
He's
we
on.
at? Where are we at? I'm completely fucking lost.
We're still.
Let's see. Tristan did a what the fuck moment. Donnie did one.
Mhm.
J Love, did you do one?
No, sir. I mean, I just sort of kind of coattailed on Donnie's. I really don't
Okay.
have. week. My what the fuck moment kind of goes into the shock and awe.
Okay, that'll come here in a bit. I can't wait for that because that's going to be pretty interesting. Because I'm gonna go ahead and pit the whites versus the blacks here in just a little bit. So y'all hang on. Russell, well, what the fuck moment? What you got, brother?
Well, I sent you this earlier in the text when you were in my office, and it was the Senator Kennedy from Louisiana was grilling a Biden appointee for a
That shit
federal
was
judge
hilarious.
in
That was-
Washington State, and
The
just
articles-
yes, Rick, can you play the clip?
Huh?
Can you play that clip I sent you?
Oh, hold on a minute. Which one was it?
But
the
it was
the
the
articles.
Oh
it
yeah,
was the
yeah, yeah. Hold
Unity.
on. Yeah. All right, let me get. Come on.
Just the lack of knowledge that they just put these people up because they check a box, to me is just like, what the fuck are we doing? Like, you don't even know the document that you have to know in order to enforce the law, but you're a judge and before that a lawyer. Like, how does that even work?
Hold on. Keep talking. I'm boosting it up here.
Senator Kennedy.
Here we go.
Thank you, Senator Booker. Senator Kennedy.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and congratulations to all of you. Judge on the far end. Tell me what Article 5 of the Constitution does.
Article 5 is not coming to mind at the moment.
Okay. How about Article 2?
Neither is Article 2.
Okay. Do you know what purposivism is?
In my 12 years as an assistant attorney general and my 9 years serving as a judge, I was not faced with that precise question. We are the highest trial court in Washington state, so I'm frequently faced with issues that I'm not familiar with, and I thoroughly review the law, research, and apply the law to the facts presented to me.
Well, you're going to be faced with it if you're confirmed. I can assure you that.
Go ahead, Russ.
Now listen, I haven't looked these up.
Go ahead, Russell.
But hang on real quick. I haven't looked them up, but I know Article 2, because of Trump, has a lot to do with impeachment because of treason and all the other things. Like, that's how they impeach you, is Article 2. I don't know all the details of it, but I remember them saying Article 2.
You're also
finish your thought.
You're also not a judge.
I'm also
an
not a
attorney
judge.
and an attorney general, right? But the fact that she had been a judge for 7 years, an attorney general, they just pick people for these positions because they have a D next to their name, and because I think this young lady was some sort of Arabic. And it's asinine that they don't take anything seriously in our government anymore. You don't even know the basic fundamental principles of the Constitution, but yet you're going to be a federal judge. That was my what the fuck moment.
Well, I'm going to go completely different. I'm going to get us off this political stuff and talk about how stupid humans are. I get to see it because I sell.
Shut the fuck up, motherfucker. Who said that? Was that Donnie?
Who do you think? I'm in sales. And people are stupid. I mean, from top to bottom. So this weekend, my wife has her son is on the 7th grade basketball team. And so we went, he had a basketball tournament here in town. So I went and to watch, and I'm watching this, and I coached for a long time, and You guys, you've been there. You've been in the bleachers. You've heard shit. Well, then I come across this article. It says that a 60-year-old man got the fuck beat out of him at a middle school basketball game. A middle school basketball game.
He died, by the way.
He did. He died. He got the shit beat out of him to death.
Yeah.
Right? In a middle school basketball game.
But by a middle schooler?
No. It was a brawl at a middle school basketball game.
He got caught in the middle of it.
And he got caught in the middle of it. They said he was throwing down too. Like he was in the middle of it, right? This is my what the fuck moment. How grown men and women could sit there at a 7th grade basketball game that nobody's going to remember, not in a year or two, but tomorrow. Nobody's going to remember this shit, right? It's a 7th grade basketball game. It's such a big deal for these people that they start yelling at the referee or even the coach or even the other team's players. I'm sitting there with my wife and I'm watching these grown ass men, beards and cowboy hats, and yelling and screaming at the coach, at the referees. Every time they miss, there's a foul, or they're just yelling and like they're so invested in a 7th grade basketball game. I want to tap him on the shoulder and goes, "Hey man, how much money you got in, or what? Why is this so fucking important? A 7th grade basketball game." And the referees yelling at the referees. I heard a mom yell at an opposing kid, "Get up, you've been faking it all day." And I'm like, you yelled at it, and his parents are there. There might be a huge fucking problem. I think that's what, I don't know what happened over there, but number one, I mean, are you fucking kidding me? Here's my what the fuck. Are you this much of a fucking loser that you spend your time yelling at referees and opposing kids during a middle school game? And number two, bro, you're 60. Are you sure you want to lose your hip hustling down a fucking flight of stairs, let alone getting your ass whipped by whoever it is? I mean, what the fuck are you actually thinking? This happens everywhere. I don't know where.
Where did this take place?
Fuck, I don't even know. Tell you the truth, I don't know, because we see it everywhere.
Yeah,
I see it everywhere here.
Somewhere on the East Coast, I think. But
yeah, I mean, what the fuck are you actually thinking? Like Donnie's got two boys, right? Let's say, how old are your boys, Donnie? What grade are they in?
10 years. 5th grade.
5th grade. Let's go to a 5th grade summer league basketball game, and you got these parents yelling and screaming at fucking referees and at kids and shit. Why? I mean, did your childhood suck so much you gotta fucking relive, your life through your kids? Dude,
I mean, that's what a lot of it is.
I mean, it floored me. So when I was playing college baseball, I started refereeing basketball games. I refereed basketball games for about 12 years of my life. It was a good side hustle. But that's when I learned that parents are fucking stupid.
Yeah.
I mean, they're just fucking stupid. It means so much for their kids to win a 7th grade basketball game. Who gives a fuck? Or a freshman basketball game. Or JV. I mean, it barely means anything to win a varsity game. But these people are out there fighting, yelling at refs. Yeah. You see it all the time. That is my what the fuck. I still can't get over that shit. Go ahead, guys. What do you got, Russ?
Well, what you were saying about when you were a referee, my dad, when I was in high school, his side hustle, he would umpire at select baseball games on the weekend, and of course we would go, or I would be playing, and the you're really paying attention when it's your dad or somebody that's umpiring,
right?
And just these people take themselves so seriously, and the things that they would say to my dad, there were so many times where I would be telling grown men to shut the fuck up. And, you know, I'm a teenager, but they're out there talking shit about my dad. And just people they don't have any fucking sense anymore.
Yeah.
Like you said, in the big scheme of things, who gives a fuck about that game? Those
Right.
games that he was umpiring 20 years ago, nobody knows who won or lost that fucking game.
So J-Love, we can talk about this off camera or whatever, because you're going to know some of these people. When my daughter was in the 6th grade, 7th grade, 8th grade volleyball, we were better than most little country towns over here, and we would beat the shit out of them. And I would hear dads, and you know the dads when I tell you about them later on. I'm not going to bring it up here, but they're sitting there going, if we stick together, we're going to win a state championship. We're going to win a state championship. And I'm like, motherfucker, we can barely get out of podunk fucking Bastrop. You think we're going to win a state championship? I mean, you're to put it in, you know, you're in special ed. I can't fathom getting that upset at a referee
over youth sports.
Yeah, over youth sports. I mean, it's fucking. Donnie, do your kids play?
They play football, not basketball, but I mean, I have seen it. I think it's more akin. I think it's gotten worse because of the internet. I think people have that chip on their shoulder where they can say anything on the internet and get away with it.
Right.
And then suddenly they come out in public and they think that's legit. And I haven't seen a fight, but I've seen some grown men tell some other grown men to shut their fuck up and take their ass back on home, and with legitimacy. I mean, I saw a coach and a couple of fathers going crazy, and one of the other team, because you're on the same side at this football game,
Right.
literally walks over and tells the coach, the man, he's bigger. He's a big boy. He's like, y'all need to calm down. My kid's on the other team, and you're acting like idiots. And they did for a while. I mean, but I think that's our society today. I think people think they can say anything, do anything, drive any way, flip you off, and there's no repercussions. And there are. I mean, in real life, I had a guy that was legit right me and flipped me off, and I was like, pull over. Like, I'm overdue for an ass whipping. Like,
Tristan's so
go.
drunk he's breaking his shit. Check him out, guys. Go ahead, Donnie. We're watching Tristan.
But,
he's gonna choke himself with all his cables.
I literally think that's our society today. I think people feel that because
I
of the
don't know what
internet,
happened, but I lost all the
bravado that they are. I think because of the internet, they've gotten a false bravado that they can do anything, say anything, and nothing will happen to them. It's not the real world, bro.
Yeah.
Hey,
J-Love.
It's not, and it's like, you know, that old meme that's going around, that's still going. But I mean, I think it was Mike Tyson that said it, that, you know, everybody's, you know, willing to talk shit until they're, you know, until they get punched in the mouth, you know, or however the saying went. Either way, it's just it's like
everybody's got a plan until they get punched in the mouth.
Exactly.
There it is.
You know, and the thing is, it's just so many people are just self-entitled pieces of shit, and it's sad, especially when you're a parent and you see these people that are just like, and I'm like, what kind of reflection is that, you know, bestowing upon your child?
Right.
I mean, your child is going to grow up to be a piece of shit, if not a bigger piece of shit than you are. So, you know, you were just fucking just taking it up the ass and then just shooting that water or something, because you're not fit to be a parent. Because if this is the way you act, then it's a piss poor reflection on your child.
Yeah, I just that was my, and it's gone on, and I think it's going to keep going on. That was just, I haven't seen it in so long because we've been talking about so many other things. I tried to search for other things to talk about,
This
and
is my-
I saw that, and you got a man that died.
Yeah.
Probably it's probably a kid's
Sad.
granddad. You know,
Probably.
because
You know,
because of a traveling call or some stupid shit like that.
right. Exactly. I mean, since we're speaking,
traveling's a big deal.
since we're
Oh, double dribble.
Unless you're LeBron James.
No,
and you
or
can
the
do it
or
and then
the
cry.
or this call you're carrying this. And by the way, guys,
Oh my God, carrying is never called.
This is it's not even in the rule book. This is there's no such thing as this. It's traveling.
Yeah.
There's no such thing as he carried. No, there's no such thing as that.
Russell, shut the fuck up. I heard that, by the way. You know,
I was making sure you're alive.
I was watching that fucking Tim Donaghy documentary, and the rest were purposefully not calling shit on Michael because it was fucking Michael. Shut the fuck up. He got babied.
Oh my God, he got babied.
Wow.
Are you serious?
You're an idiot.
Is this where we're going?
They literally had something called the Jordan rules. You never heard of them called LeBron rules?
Shut the fuck up, Donnie.
Yeah, there's a LeBron rule. You got to stop and watch when he throws a tantrum on the court.
Oh no, you got to. LeBron rules are. You got to sit around and flop around like a fucking fish.
And then say stupid shit after the game in a press conference.
LeBron would have been a great soccer player, if you ask me.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
Okay, so moving on, so we can get to the crux of the. You know what? We're going to go in and go to it now. I was going to talk about my ice baths and the third subtlety to giving zero fucks. I'll save that for later if we have time.
Okay.
We're going to go straight into Russell.
It's like Pokemon Kill.
All right.
Sounds like
Ladies
an
and
FMK
gentlemen,
to
boys
me.
and girls, children of all ages, Whiskey and Wisdom After Dark proudly presents to you FMK number 1. This week we're going to go 80s and 90s music video vixens.
Oh my God, Russell's crazy on this shit.
I love
And
it.
the number
hey,
one.
by the way, guys, Russell, hold on. By the way, guys, you notice I got my first Whiskey and Wisdom poster in this week. I've got 3 more coming. Miss Phoebe Cates will be joining us from here on out every Wednesday night.
Giggity.
I knew I would impress you, J Love. You hate everything I fucking come up with.
Richmond High, Phoebe Cates?
Yes, that's it. J Love hates every fucking thing I do on the show. Anyway, let's go. Let's go.
That was a as in Phoebe Kate.
Look at that, dude. It's beautiful.
I mean,
that's times in Richmond.
I got Daisy Duke coming, and I've got Farrah Fawcett coming. All right, Russell, I'm sorry to go ahead. FMK, here we go.
I would love to have any of them coming, by the way. So, first one is we're going to go Tawny Katane, White Snake.
On the front of the car, sopping wet.
Yes. We're going to go Bobby Brown, Cherry Pie, and Warrant. And then we're going to go Alicia Silverstone in the Aerosmith videos from the 90s.
Nice.
Okay. Who wants to go first?
I'll go first.
Oh. J-Lo spoke first. Go ahead.
Okay. I'm killing Alicia. Go ahead and get rid of her. No, wait. I take that back. I'm fucking her. Sorry. I screwed that up.
Yes.
I'm killing Tawny Katane, and I'm marrying Bobby Brown.
Okay.
Bobby Brown's still with.
She's still hot.
Yeah, she is. She's in one of the Steel Panther videos.
Donnie?
I'm gonna go a little different. And I don't know what it is about Alicia Silverstone. Maybe it's that lisp that she's got, or whatever the fuck that is when she talks. I'm gonna bang the shit out of her. I'm gonna marry Bobby and kill
Tawny. Okay.
R.I.P. Tawny Katane.
I'm gonna go into a story.
She was hot.
I'm gonna go into a short story. So Bobby, I'm gonna kill. Silverstone, I'm gonna fuck. Katane, because of her White Snake video on the front of the car in the rain, one of me and my wife's first dates was at Old Town, J Love. We were at Old Town, and it was about 3 o'clock in the afternoon on a Sunday. A storm came through. It was raining sideways. All downtown was shut down. No electricity. It was still 3 o'clock, right? There was nothing. So me and my wife go outside, and there's only about 12 people at Old Town. We go outside, and we just start dancing in the middle of the street, like country dancing. And then she goes, "You want to see this?" Like, yeah. So she gets on Jacob Hill's hood of the truck, and she starts doing the Tawny Katane thing. And I'm like, I'm gonna marry that bitch when it comes to. So I'm gonna marry Tawny. I'm gonna fuck Alicia, and I'm gonna Bobby Brown. I'm gonna put a bullet in her head. Russ, Bus, you're next.
Now hold on a second. Is Tristan alive?
I think he's wrapped all the cables around him. He got so drunk.
Okay, because
I don't know.
he could participate in these FMKs, but
he's too drunk. He's too drunk, and those girls are too old.
Okay, so I'm gonna go kind of the consensus, even though she was absolutely beautiful. It's Tawny Katane, I'm gonna have to kill her reluctantly. I am going to fuck Bobby Brown because she is absolutely gorgeous, and then I'm gonna marry Alicia Silverstone because, man, just I think there's a lot of fucking stiff sheets in landfills from my teenage years watching them damn videos. So we're gonna marry her.
Oh my gosh, that's good. That's good. So I'm gonna fill a little space here till we get Donnie back because I really want him to get on this. Guys, I've been a full month now of ice water baths. This morning was cold. It was sleet and all that stuff. I got in there anyway. I lasted about 2 minutes looking at all the ice and everything. It's making me feel good. It's doing a lot of things, a lot of good things. I feel really good about it. But here's the thing: I'm also reading David Goggins' book and watching him on YouTube and all this stuff. And for you to have a callous mind to where you can do anything you want. He said doing something that sucks every day, stepping outside of your comfort zone every day, is the first step in the journey toward a callous mind. So that way you can overcome certain things and you can quit being a little bitch like I used to be at work, and everybody's after me and poor little old me, trying to create a callous mind. Well, the first thing he says is do something that sucks every day. So the first thing I do when I get out of bed is I jump in today it was about 33-degree water for about 2 minutes. So I was able to beat the inner bitch in me that says, don't do this, don't do that. I was able to do that. And this is why I'm doing it, to try to beat some of the demons that I have, some of the doubts that I have, some of the bitch in me, trying to beat some of that. And so I only missed 2 days out of this month. Or last month, and I started this month as cold as fuck as it is. Started it like that. Also, I want to go ahead and finish the 3 subtleties to giving 0 fucks. We talked about before. We talked about this. The first one, being comfortable with being different. When you want to talk about giving 0 fucks, you've got to think differently. You got to be differently. You got to act differently. You got to put yourself in a different mindset. And then the second one is when you prioritize your fucks, because you only have so many to give. Remember, we talked about you only have so many fucks to give. You got to prioritize that. And then the last one is we're always giving our whole lives. We're always giving fucks about certain things. When we're young, we don't know any better, right, Donnie? We just don't, or J-Love, we don't know any better. We care about everything, what we wear, what we look like, how we sound. These kids, when you're young, you care about everything and what everybody says. And then as you grow older, you realize a lot of those things have very little impact in your life, and you start paying attention to what really matters as we're growing older. And then you get to the point where the three of us are at, and it's called maturity. And when you become mature, you learn what's truly fuck worthy. And and that's the third subtlety is now we're learning what's really truly fuck worthy, right? So when you put it all together, you got to be comfortable with being different. The three of us, I've got to be comfortable being different than you, J Love, or being different than you, Donnie. And I shouldn't worry about that. That's me stepping outside and stepping outside of myself and stepping in my own box.
Well, it's not just that. It's just a simple fact that if we were all the same, this world would be a really fucking boring place.
Well, if we were all the same, we wouldn't even been doing this. We'd be out there fighting in a middle school game. We're actually trying to make ourselves better, and this is why I'm doing this to try to prioritize what's going on, and it's really helping me out going through this on a daily basis. You know, I jump in the ice bath first thing in the morning for 3 minutes. Today it was only 2 minutes because it was freezing, and I'm pissed about that. And I should give a fuck about being pissed about that, because tomorrow I want to overcome that and stay in there for 3 minutes. Because I consider myself a little bitch for getting out early. I didn't defeat my inner bitch today. And it bothers me, and it's okay, because that's something that's going to make me better. And we learn to prioritize. And now we just got to, now as mature as we are, we only have so many, so we know where to put those fucks, those zero fucks. And it helps. I know it helps me throughout the day. It has changed me as a person. And for those of you that are listening and have no idea what I'm talking about, you can go online, and it's The Subtle Art of Giving Zero Fucks. It's a really great book. And then, like I said, trying to callous the mind to be able to defeat my inner demons and become stronger within myself. David Goggins, he's got 3 or 4 books you can go read. The guy is crazy, psycho, but it makes a lot of sense. It makes a lot of sense because it really is in your mind, and you can defeat those demons by yourself. And so I love everything that he says. While y'all are here, I'm going to ask my wife a question. Hey, would you be on here in a little bit when we start talking about men and women? Does it matter? Yeah. Well, no, you can be. You don't have to be on video, and then you can even join us for the next FMK. Okay. Because I just told the guys I would marry Tawny Contain because one Sunday outside of Old Town you did the dance. All right, so we're fixing to have a woman in here in a little bit when we talk about that shit. Anyway, Zero Fucks and David Goggins, go take it and do it and get after it. The number one question for everybody tonight: does racism still today come from white Anglo Americans or minorities? Or does it come from now Black Americans or African Americans, whatever they call themselves? We talk about racism, and I think it's taken a completely different turn. A completely different turn. J-Love, you have a shock and awe moment that goes with this? Or do you just want to go into this?
We can go into this, but I mean, I can get this out of the way. I mean, racism isn't you're not born with it. It's something that's taught.
Correct.
And I mean, that's for all walks of life. As far as people want to be called Asian American, African American, or whatever the fuck, if you've never been a fuck up, you're just a goddamn American, period. And my thing, all of this that's been going on probably a couple weeks since the story hit the newsstands, and a young gentleman, 29 years old, Tyree Nichols, was beaten absolutely fucking by 5 uniformed officers with the Memphis Police Department. And come to find out, there was even looming suspension prior for these individuals. And I don't know exactly if they were a complete unit or just 5 random patrol officers who just so happened to roll up on the same scene. Neither here nor there. You can see the body cam videos, and then you can hear his mother in the background pleading for his life as they're beating the shit out of this kid. And he's sitting there saying, "Mama, what did I do?" Whether he was recklessly driving or not, that's neither here nor there. Young man lost his life. My question on all this is, where's the outrage? Where's the outrage in the Black community? Nowhere. Where's the outrage by BLM and IFA? Nowhere. They're not coming to the support of this kid. Yet, the funeral today, Kamala Harris was there, making this more political than it already has. What's his name? Al Sharpton was there, making it even more political and one-sided than it already. And again, where's the outrage in the communities for these people? There's not. Now, have it been 5 white cops, or shall I say 5 uniformed officers of an off color, it would have been a completely different story. Cities would have been down, riots left and right over some bullshit. You could take this as far back as Rodney King if you want. I mean, granted, they were completely wrong. We all know that back in the 90s with Rodney King. Fast forward to just a few years with George Floyd. We all know that that was bullshit. Toxicology reports have proved it otherwise. Granted, again, it goes back to 10,000 officers, and you've got 3 or 4 that are pieces of shit. It makes every other officer a piece of shit and have a target on his or her back. Neither here nor there. George Floyd was a piece of fucking shit, but yet he's been made a martyr over what? Nothing. But yet communities and people were in an outrage simply because of the demographic, simply because of what happened, simply because he said, "I can't breathe." Motherfucker, you couldn't breathe because you were high on fentanyl and you were about to over.
Right.
You had just gotten released from prison not too long ago for breaking and entering, and then you were assaulting a pregnant young woman who you threatened to kill her and her unborn baby if she didn't give you the money that you said that she owed you. I mean, so for it's the double standard. It makes absolutely no fucking sense to me. Yet there's no outrage whatsoever for this Tyree Nichols in the Black community, simply because the officers were Black. So it makes absolutely no fucking sense to me. I mean, if you stack it the fuck up or pack it the fuck up, you can't have it one way or the other. Because either way, it's not going to bring him back.
Right.
George Floyd back for all the bullshit that he caused. I was just when I saw it all come to light, and I saw the pictures of the officers, and I was talking to a friend of mine and who was off color, and they were like, "Oh man, this is going to get bad." And I said, "You won't hear a fuck from these people." I said, because those people, it doesn't fit their agenda. And when I say those people, I'm not talking about the Black community. I'm talking about those to where it does fit their agenda. Your BLMs and your Antifas who are supported by George Soros and the like, of those of that nature. Okay. BLM isn't even ran by fucking Black people anymore. The founder of BLM, that bitch done took her millions and ran and bought real estate up in California. he has nothing to do with fucking BLM anymore.
Right.
It makes absolutely no sense. And Antifa ain't nothing but a bunch of punk pussy fags anyway. So I don't get it. I mean, you riot and you loot and you steal and you kill and you destroy cities for 2 years over someone that was a big fucking piece of shit who it just fit the narrative for the time. And yet, fast forward now to another individual. Again, a human life should not have been wasted either way. But at the same time, this young cat's 29 years old, and yet there's no outrage. There's no
So, yeah.
There's
So, Russell, we had this conversation.
Sure.
We're gonna keep rolling with this. Does
So-
racism still today come from white Anglo Americans, or does now it come from minority? I mean, do the roles switch? Go ahead, Russell.
No, first of all, racism's racism, period. There's no such thing as reverse racism. There's just racism. But to segue off of what J-Love just said, those 5 black officers, well, those guys have been they've been indicted, second-degree murder. But what blows me away is that you've got 5 black officers, a black chief of police, a black city council, a black mayor in Memphis. And the first thing that you start seeing from the CNNs, the MSNBCs, the media is that this is all systemic white supremacy. This is because of racism. So to answer your question and to segue into that, yes, there are still people that are white and Mexican and Asian that are racist, and there's a lot of black folks that are very racist as well. So I think it still comes from both sides. I think that most white people in this country in this year and day and age are really not racist, but a majority of the African American community are very racist. And the other demographic that is very racist is the white liberal. They hide it with virtue signaling. They hide it with all this other bullshit that they say, but they make everything about race and they try to keep people segregated to this day. So it's still coming from both sides. I watched a movie last night with Jonah Hill and Eddie Murphy, and it was called You People. It's on Netflix. I'm a huge Eddie Murphy fan.
Yeah.
I'm a huge Jonah Hill fan. And I was talking to you about this morning, Coach.
Yep.
And I was excited to see it because I think Eddie Murphy's hilarious. I like Jonah Hill. I know he's a liberal, but I like his work. Loved him in Wolf of Wall Street. And as I'm sitting there watching this movie, and I know a lot of it's satire, but the level of racism from blacks towards anybody that looks white. And it's okay to demonize, to call a white person racist. It's okay to say anything you want to a white person, how you want to say it. And in this particular movie, these folks were Jewish, and they still think they've been more persecuted than the Jews. There's never been a race of people on this planet that have been persecuted and murdered, mass murdered, than Jews in recent history. And they've also been enslaved. They were the original slaves. But we have given a pass and basically made it to where it's okay for black folks to be racist towards other people on the fact that I guess we're guilty as a country, and now we're letting it go off the rails.
So
And
Russell,
I think,
you showed me this, and I watched that movie, and I've been around people like this. I'm not going to say all black people are like this or all Hispanics are like this, because I've got some Hispanic family that are, LULAC, and they're out there waving flags. You never hear from them because Mexicans aren't that important. They're too busy building our roads and cutting our grass and our roofs. But it's like a lot of these people have this chip on their shoulder for no apparent reason, because their lives are fine. They have jobs, everything's good. Nobody's making them do anything, but they have this chip on their shoulder. And every time you try to ask them something, they come up with, well, where'd you get that? And why'd you get that? Well, my people did this, and my people. motherfucker, you ain't ever been in a cotton field before. My grandfather didn't do this, so why the chip? And this is I guess why I'm asking now. Is it now the minority, Black American, African American, whatever they're called? Is it now the reverse? Is it more them throwing it in our face, throwing it in your face, really, because y'all are white?
I think where it's being thrown in our face the most is through social media or through the fake news, the lamestream media. I mean, they push that narrative every single chance that they get, and it goes. It goes back to kind of what Russell was talking about, even with you, Coach. Fuck, if anybody suppressed, it's fucking white people. Shit, and
100%.
For the way that it is now, I mean, these motherfuckers ain't never been in no fucking cotton field. They ain't never been in no fucking shackles. So take that shit somewhere else, because it's not flying with.
So in that movie, they said two grandpas ago, we were slaves, and Jonah said, or Jonah's dad said, well, the Holocaust was in 1940. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the Holocaust was in 1940. So you're trying to trump me or not? Or it's just a very interesting show. And it just made me think, because racism still is. I mean, it's there.
Of
It'll
course
always
it
be
is.
there. You're never going to get rid of it. But what gives you, just because of the color of your skin, it gives you that extra chip or that extra boxing glove to go out and say, I am, I'm lying, hear me roar because of my ancestors and persecution and all this. I mean,
what we spoke of earlier about the whole entitlement issue. It stems directly back to that, and then you've got the gaslighters in the back that are trying to ignite the flame even more, and then to incite that individual or that group of individuals even more.
And
So
while they do that, our government loves that.
Of course they do.
They don't want us to get along. Donnie,
No,
Donnie, your head's fixing to explode. Donnie, tell us. Come on.
So I don't know that. I mean, listen, I know racism is real. There's people out there that don't like people from other races, but I think the main point here is you have people in the liberal, and I say liberal because I don't see as much of it on the right as I do on the left, of just claiming people are racist, like labeling you
Yes.
as a racist if you don't agree with a policy. And that is super dangerous. But then you take it another step further, and the gaslighting part is obviously real, but then it's the conformity. And if you're not conforming to our way of thoughts, then
you're racist.
You're racist, and you're moving on from there. And that's the dangerous part. Like it's I see more liberal women as liberal white women as saying you're racist as I do somebody that's legitimately racist. And that's
biggest bigots in our country are white liberal women.
I agree.
And Donnie, here's what's happening, and this is a kind of another thing. So basically, the narrative and what's going on with this victimhood mentality, and now we allow a certain group of people to be racist toward another one out of guilt, and now you're seeing this whole trans LGBTQ thing, and the reason that these people are pushing so hard to indoctrinate and do all this stuff is because of the African American issue. Now they see, we can just push it and push it and push it, and nobody's going to do anything about it. So we're just going to hammer it home.
I think that's a different line of issues, and I think that'll get quashed pretty quickly. I think we're at the tail end of that, and the reason why is, like, Jordan Peterson made a great point on Rogan recently, that 80% of the people that are trans before they're 18 end up regretting it. and this is a new study that they just pulled out, and 90% of the regretting ended up being homosexual. So you're going to break that LGBTQ,
and I hope you're right. But what I'm saying is basically now, if you say I think there's two genders, they go, well, you're transphobic. Just like if you say, hey, I'm a Republican,
and I get it,
and I don't think I'm racist. No, you're racist because you're a Republican. It's the same line of thinking that is creating the same type of issues in different issues, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, I get that, but the problem is, like, you have this big coalition behind LGBTQ, PD, whatever. It stops at LGBTQ now, or not now, but in the near future, it'll stop there, because then you'll have somebody that's a gay person that's saying, yeah, I shouldn't have been considered trans, and I shouldn't have went through the mutilations and all the gender suppressing drugs. I was really just gay. And if that ever happens, and I think it will happen, it changes, it breaks that coalition, because that coalition has been very strong. They even went after Rowling and as a turf, but now it changes. Like, if that comes out and gains some traction, it's already out. If it gains some traction, then it breaks that coalition. And that's how, I mean, when you break a coalition, you win the war. Like, that's all there is to it. I mean, you break through the front lines, you get in, you destroy everything.
So why is it now that if you're the minority and you don't agree with what I have to say, then you're wrong, you're an animal, you're against everything? I mean, you can talk about, color or sex or religion and politics. Like, that's the big thing with the left. If you don't agree with them, then you are a fucking animal. Like, you're an animal.
You're instantly labeled evil if you don't agree with their policies or their ideals or anything nature. And the fact of the matter is, if there's anything that is evil, it is everything that is being pushed out from the side of things. Now, I'm not saying the right is completely perfect, because they're not, because there's some pretty evil shit going on the right as well.
Sure.
So, but I mean, if you want to look at true evil, I mean, look at everything that the left is pushing. I mean, everything from, your Balenciaga stuff, the BDSM stuff with the kids, human trafficking, pedophilia, Satanism, the human sacrifice. I mean, the list goes on and on and on for the left, and it's child's play for the left. And I don't.
Sure. I can tell you exactly why, and it's the more the things that they can divide us and make us bicker and fight amongst ourselves about, the less we focus on the swamp creatures and what they're doing and what the deep state is doing. And the statement, together we stand, divided we fall. If the American people ever got on the same page and really started paying attention to really things that really matter, and stop worrying about skin color and sexual orientation and religion, and we focused on what was really happening, that'd be the scariest thing that could ever happen to them in their life. And that's why they do it.
Well, and then that's what they want either. They don't, they want to totally control us. And
exactly.
I mean, the one of the greatest movies ever, They Live. The Carpenters, They Live. I mean, it was with Roddy Piper. It was a low budget 80s movie, but it made perfect fucking sense. And it is going today completely. I mean, the fact of the matter is, if these people in the case of this movie, if these people on the left would just take off their fucking blinders, take off those glasses, and realize what the fuck is going on, like you say, Russell, in regards to the whole united we fall thing, we'd be one bad motherfucker. And that's what they don't want.
Well, they can't have it, and that's the thing. They're sitting there, and it all, to me, this all goes back to politics. They
Sure.
can't have the old, why can't we all get along? Well, because we can't make money if we all get along.
That's right.
We can't make any money, and so then you start this propaganda. You start all these, what I just call it bullshit, man. I mean,
I look at with fear plus panic. No, what is it? Yeah, fear plus panic multiply violence equals profit.
yeah. And
These
I
are all
really
that-
saw it, J-Love. I really saw it. And you tried on Facebook, doing the Facebook Live. You had a black guy on your show and a redneck, and it was the three of y'all. But every time y'all got on there, you agreed. It was like an agreement on everything. And I'm sitting there waiting on somebody to say something, and you couldn't, for the fact of there was a black man on here, and you couldn't go opposite because the fallout would be immense. And I really tried this week. I was looking for a black guy to get on here because I wanted to hear how he felt, what he thought about this. He doesn't have to agree with all this, but
I have quite a few on here that are black.
yeah, what?
I have quite a few that want to get on here that are.
I would love that.
Okay.
I would love that, because everybody that's listening, we talk about race, we talk about religion, we talk about men and women, we talk about politics, we talk about everything here. And this podcast has opened my eyes and opened my mind to a lot of things that I didn't know and I didn't care about, but I do now, like extraterrestrials. These guys have opened my mind to it, to where now I'm looking, I'm researching things, and the way, we're all different. We all believe in different things. We look at things differently, and that's okay. I mean, I'm just wondering, in that show with Eddie Murphy that I saw today, I see that all the time. I mean, it's like everybody walks on pins and needles. If there is and even not only a black person, but a black woman, now you really got to fucking be careful, because that could all cause a shitstorm, and I'm just wondering how bad it's gotten, why it's gotten this fucking bad. I mean, is everybody out for the almighty dollar? Are you looking to make a dollar? Are you looking to hurt? I mean, women have no leg to stand on. Like, you're not oppressed anymore. Like, name one thing a woman is not allowed to do that a man can do nowadays. So what are fucking feminists fighting for?
Well, I can tell you one thing that women can't do that men can, and that's play in a sports league anymore without men jumping in it. So they can't have a fair playing field in sports anymore because men have taken it over. That is one thing.
Okay. Other than that,
what hypocrites?
They also aren't allowed to be the only person that can have babies.
Yes, or periods, apparently.
Still pee standing up. So.
But you're right, Coach. There's nothing that they can't do that everybody else can do. Just like in like what I think it was J-Love that said, the most oppressed person in 2023 is the white straight male. I mean, we're the ones that are constantly being held back and persecuted for nothing other than being born. And I was born in 1982.
But according to them,
but
according to them, we're also given the most opportunities, which makes no
right.
sense.
White privilege.
Yeah.
Unless you're
okay. Here's Russell. Me and Russell are in the car business, gentlemen, and this is why you hear very little from Hispanic Americans, Mexican Americans, and we will be the first ones to shut that shit off. I make a good living. I'm not gonna lie. I make a good living. You know how many Hispanics, Mexican Americans come into our dealership? with their own business, whether it be carpentry, roofing, whatever. And you could see it in their hands. Dirt under their fingernails, calloused. They've got hundreds of dollars in their fucking pocket.
Thousands.
Ready, thousands of dollars. Ready. And the first thing they say, I want to build my credit. They don't come in there going, hey, you owe me shit. They come in here, hey, how do I build my credit? What do I need to do? Hey, you need this much money down. Let's build your credit and go. I've got customers that I've sold 5 years ago that are still coming back to me, and now they're setting their kids up. And these some bitches are doing jobs that people don't like to do. They're up on the fucking roofs in 120-degree weather. They're paving roads. They're building houses. They're doing all the. So for you to come and tell me that you're suppressed, you're not allowed to do anything because of the color of your skin, bro, I got people that can't even speak fucking English. And then you want to tell me, well, the Mexicans are taking all my job. Motherfucker, you don't want their job. I promise you. You do not want their job. Right? I mean, it's there if you want it, or you got to work for it. And then these people don't ask for shit. Just treat me like a human being. That's all they want. You know what I mean? So that white supremacy or white privilege, there's no such thing. Brittany, there's no such thing as.
There used to be. I mean, there was in the 50s and 60s, absolutely was, but that's not the case anymore. It's flip-flopped. The opportunities are being taken away from people that look like me and Donnie and J-Love and Tristan if he's still alive.
Right. So you want something for free. That's not going to cut it with me. I've got a list of customers. I've got a book in my office. I've got a list of customers. If there's somebody of a different color than white that says I'm being held down, I've got a list of customers, 100 pages long. Go get a job with them. Go hire you. Go work. These motherfuckers work 7 days a week. They work hard for their money. They've got a lot of pride in what they do. And so I treat them with that much respect. Russell treats them with that much respect in the finance office because they've earned this. And they're not asking or begging for shit.
Nope. And they're your best customers.
Yeah. Sure. And they ain't asking for shit. Oh, they're taking all our jobs away. Motherfucker, you don't want his job. I promise you.
No, you don't.
I promise you. And now I'm not picking on a certain race or a certain color person, but you know, this shit about, you know, hanging your laurels on the past, on your great-great-grandfather, on shit like that, bro, we've got to get out of that.
Well, it's Dr. Martin Luther King said it best. It's not about the color of your skin, but the content of your character. What is it inside of you that drives you? And what kind of person are you? And that's how I look at people. And I know that's how all the rest of us do too. It's the left in this whole culture that's making everything about race again and looking at the color of skin. And it ain't people like us that are doing that. It's the other side.
Yeah. Yeah. Russell just dropped a bomb in a quote that's a t-shirt worthy, but you're right. It's all the political love this. They start teaching it in schools now, in universities. They've got to keep it alive. They got to keep it alive.
For sure. I mean, because it's I mean, it's a cash cow.
Yeah,
it is. And it's funny because you're talking about, my grandfather and my grandfather's grandfather and my grandfather's grandfather's grandfather, this, that, and the other, or relatives way back then. I've got a good friend of mine who's off color. We'll keep it at that. He's off color, and we were kind of talking about the same thing, and the whole reparations and this, that, and the other. And well, I'm like, bro, do you think that you're owed anything? He's like, fuck no, I ain't owed shit. He goes, hell, I work for what I've got. And then I said, so you're not one of those that are all worried about this, that, and the other. He goes, man, he said, fuck that shit. He said, fuck my granddaddy and fuck my granddaddy's granddaddy's granddaddy. I wasn't there. He said, so I don't give a fuck, and I don't give a fuck about your family who was there either. He says, I'm talking about living in the now. We can't change what happened 300 and 400 years ago.
Yeah.
We can't.
Well,
we can only move forward.
Do you even know who your ancestors are, really? Do you? Because I don't. I couldn't tell you other than we did but so here's the thing.
I know who my granddaddy is. That's it. That's as far as I go.
How many of your relatives or my relatives, I don't know, but could have fought in the Civil War and died fighting for freedom? Do we know that?
Exactly.
I don't. So how do you know most people don't even know if your ancestor was a slave. You could be Haitian, you could be Jamaican, you could be Dominican, you could be not a descendant of a slave, but you still have this mentality, you know? So
it's true. And the fucked up thing is, I mean, my last name is Love, and the majority of the Loves I meet are Black, you know? So it's it's like, yeah, someone, you know, fucked around in the woodshed way back then. Who gives a shit?
Doesn't matter.
You know, I'm not worried that happened 300 or 400 years ago.
Yeah. So I've got family. I want to make sure everybody listening understands this, and why we're saying what we're saying. I've got family that they're balls deep in the LULAC. They're looking out for the Hispanic, you know, community, and I love that about it. You know, but it's not an excuse. It's not, you know, it's not a rally cry for a free meal, or you have to hire this person because you haven't hired a Hispanic in so many years, or whatever the case may be, right? Taylove, you haven't, so you owe me one because you haven't. No, just give us a fair share. And my dad was a migrant worker. My granddad was a migrant worker. My dad has a 6th grade education, and they used to travel and pick berries and vegetables all the way up to Colorado, Utah, and all the way back, right? Mm-hmm. He never once told me, hey, the white man's going to keep you down, so you got to, you know, band together with the Mexican. No, he always said, son, if you want something, work your ass off. You got 2 hands, you got 2 feet and a brain. Go get it. Go get what you want. And my dad did that. And there, towards the end of his life, he was a superintendent of a multi-million-dollar construction company in Houston, Texas, with a 6th grade education, you know? But it's never about, oh, well, they did this to granddad or great granddad or me or whatever. No, son, get your ass up out of bed and go fucking work. Yeah. And that's what it amounts to. I mean, I just get so tired of that rhetoric. But again, you can't help it because political mainstream keeps bringing it up and pushing it.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
Right? Just like the transgender stuff.
If you want something bad enough, you got to get your ass to work.
Yeah, I mean, but it's all political. I think it's all political. I think it's pushed. It's pushed because those in charge want to keep us all separated, because that's how they make their money and that's how they can push their agenda. Listen to this, fellas. Listen to this real quick. Hold on.
The left-wing gender insanity being pushed on our children is an act of child abuse. Very simple. Here's my plan to stop the chemical, physical, and emotional mutilation of our youth. On day one, I will revoke Joe Biden's cruel policies on so-called gender-affirming care. Ridiculous. A process that includes giving kids puberty blockers, mutating their physical appearance, and ultimately performing surgery on minor children. Can you believe this? I will sign a new executive order instructing every federal agency to cease all programs that promote the concept of sex and gender transition at any age. I will then ask Congress to permanently stop federal taxpayer dollars from being used to promote or pay for these procedures, and pass a law prohibiting child sexual mutilation in all 50 states. It'll go very quickly. I will declare that any hospital or healthcare provider that participates in the chemical or physical mutilation of minor youth will no longer meet federal health and safety standards for Medicaid and Medicare and will be terminated from the program immediately. Furthermore, I will support the creation of a private right of action for victims to sue doctors who have unforgivably performed these procedures on minor children. The Department of Justice will investigate Big Pharma and the big hospital networks to determine whether they have.
All right, that's enough of that. But you get where he's going.
Sure.
You don't think there's a shitstorm coming if that happens?
Well,
It is.
There's a fuck ton of lawsuits already looming at a facility in Dallas because there's a group of doctors there that have performed illegal procedures and procedures that were unbeknownst to the parents, this, that, and the other. Now, how in the fuck that happens, I have no idea.
The UK shut down their number one facility for gender trans whatever because they've already gotten so many lawsuits they can't keep up with it.
Mm-hmm.
They literally shut down a whole medical facility dedicated to it.
Yeah, I mean, you're right, Coach. There's a shitstorm coming.
I mean,
Big time.
I'm looking at this as a whole. I'm finally looking into all this. I finally brought it all as a whole. This is something that the top five families or whatever, whoever's running the country, it's all a cash cow.
Yeah,
sure.
That's all it is. Now you're pushing this.
Think of it this way. Look at it this way.
Go ahead.
If you've got a child that is having body dysmorphia is a common practice that is known for a variety of reasons. Maybe they're too tall, maybe they're too fat, maybe they're too skinny, maybe they're whatever. And you go to this child and say, yeah, the problem is you feel like a boy. You now create a customer, not a patient. You create a customer that could last you 20 years. And let's say that they are only spending $2,000 or $3,000 a year. It's still $60,000. I mean,
apply that by a dozen.
Yeah.
More.
Now think of it times 1,000 or 50,000 nationwide, worldwide, whatever. Yeah, it's an easy. Yeah,
well,
why
Russell,
pay the physician a kickback?
Russell, weren't you the one that told me that the shots were $10, but now they're gonna the Pfizer shot was $10, and now they're gonna sell them to companies, and it's gonna cost like $150.
No, it wasn't me.
Yeah, somebody told me that these. So this whole COVID thing with these shots, not even vaccines, they found where they could make their money. So before it was, you can go anywhere and get them for $10 or whatever. Now they're not. You don't need it, but now they're selling them, and for you to go get a shot, it's going to cost you $140 or $150, something like that.
I mean, here's where I stand with that. Since we mentioned Big Pharma, it doesn't make money off of wellness. It makes money off of returning customers. I mean, if a prescription actually worked, why are you getting it refilled? So, take that into consideration. You look at the past 3, what is this, 22, 23, 4 years.
23.
You've companies shut down, businesses shut down, people lose their jobs, people lose their savings, people lose their investments, this, that, and the other, people losing their homes, people losing their families. You've had schools shut down, church, hospitals off limits to everybody. You couldn't go in to see your dying grandparents or this, that, and the other because of some bullshit. But yet you have so many people willing to stand up for, say, the hoax of a war that is Ukraine, and we shell out billions and billions of dollars to that for the past 2 years. But yet, you stand with your brother and sister, your fellow woman or your fellow friend or your fellow coworker or whatever, to stand up and fight for what even you knew was bullshit, but yet you were too afraid to say anything or too afraid to speak up. I mean, fuck you, man. I don't have no time for you. No time whatsoever. But yet you're willing to stand up for some bullshit. Take, for instance, you've got certain groups, smaller in stature now, because I think they've sort of over time, but yet they're still strong and mighty to an extent. You've got your BLMs and your bullshit. You stand up for something that has no relevance to you whatsoever because you think you're making a difference, but yet your sister or your brother lost their business, or you lost your grandmother, or you lost a best friend, or this, that, and the other. The past 2.5, 3 years, 4 years, you didn't stand up, and you just sat back and watch all this shit happen. It just blows my mind where people's priorities are. It absolutely, it baffles my senses to the ends of the earth and back.
Yeah. So y'all opened my mind early, like episodes ago. And I finally came to the realization that it is all political. All of this, everything, racism, COVID, everything is political, because I haven't heard shit about COVID. All I've heard is about the so-called vaccine, the shots. I haven't heard anything about COVID or nothing. Me and Russell saw today where they're still hiding, or not hiding, but it's in the back page where athletes are still passing out, dying because their hearts are enlarged. Nobody says shit about their. Now somebody is saying that I should have, but I didn't. The number of deaths due to COVID in the past was overblown to scare people away. Yeah.
Told you this like 3 weeks ago.
I know you did. That's why I
It came
said
from the CDC.
yes.
Yep.
It's all yes. So all of this to me, it's our politics pushing the sheeple into the cage, into the arena that they want us to.
All to be slaughtered.
Now, yes, all to be slaughtered, all to be told something different. And I hope this. No, nobody's talking about guns anymore. That's not big in the news anymore. I can't find that.
Well, I've seen some things this week.
Just
No,
remember,
you've seen some things, but it's not boom in your fucking face.
The way that I've learned to decipher things and to figure things out on my own. Again, everybody's different. Do your own, develop your own opinions, but question everything. When
everything
breaks, I give it 72 hours at least before I go and start researching, because that first story or that first couple of stories, it's all bullshit. It's all just a gas. And further on from that, I mean, I'm at a loss with everything. This, as far as for the boogeyman, everyone calls it COVID. It's been the boogeyman for me from day one. There's no such thing.
Yeah, it's like a chupacabra.
And the fact that I even watched a prior employer just go ape fucking shit and Gestapo like on trying to change things and to do this, and you need to do this and you need to do this. If you don't do this and if you don't do this, then you're going to be fired. The whole fucking idle threat bullshit did for me. When it began to become too political, there is when I realized this is not my place anymore. I'm done here. But this has been the biggest cash, as we like to use. This has been a big moneymaker.
Yeah,
in
no doubt.
In the history of modern medicine, and it's not medicine that we're talking about here. I mean, this was the biggest political coup. This was this was by far the only way that they knew that they could stop Trump. And again, it's whether you're a Trump lover or a Trump hater, it doesn't matter. Whatever side of the fence you decide to fall on, that's your choice. Regardless of who you vote for, it doesn't make you a bad person. I'm not going to stop loving you just because you voted for Biden. I might call you a fucking dumbass, but like you called me for voting for Trump. It goes both ways. But I'm still going to respect you in the morning, and we'll still have a civil conversation. We'll still go on about our day until you decide to pull some bullshit, which I've lost family members.
So let me ask you guys this, and because I've been asked this before by some guys that are listening. I'm going to ask all of you guys, and just give me the answer. Don't tell me why. I don't give a shit about all that. They don't care. They just want to know where they can go. Where do you go get your news, J-Love?
There's Free Spoke. There's Burrow. There's I tend to away from Google. Twitter now is very reliable, but Free Spoke, Burrow, stuff like that. Anything like whitehats.org, whitehats.com, some shit like that. The Rabbit Hole, anything like that.
Donnie?
But
I'm more Twitter and Reddit. I like reading. I like articles. I like digging. Also, there's Substack. I love Substacks. That's about it.
You guys that are listening, this is where these guys are getting their information from. Russ, where do you get your stuff from?
A lot of Breitbart, a lot of Newsmax, a lot of Reddit. I have started looking at Twitter a lot more now that it's more of an open forum.
Right.
I also watch
MSNBC.
MSNBC. I watch CNN. I watch the other side just so I can see what they're saying.
Of course.
Just so I know what the other side's saying. So, but we all know that's not real news. So,
but that's it. All right, guys. Hey, let's move on to something else. We got one more FMK for everybody. Listen up, Russell. What do we got?
All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, time for round 2 of FMK, Whiskey and Wisdom After Dark. We're going to go pop stars.
Night, boys.
First one, Shakira.
Okay.
Jennifer Lopez.
Who's the first one?
Shakira.
Jennifer Lopez. Christina Aguilera.
Oh my gosh.
So Shakira, Christina, and
J-Lo.
Let me think about this because I want to kill 2 of them already. J-Love, you feel me?
Wow.
That's a good one.
Fuck.
This is a good one.
I will definitely fuck her.
Who?
Christina.
Okay.
Christina. I'm gonna kill Shakira. And as batshit crazy as J-Lo is, I'm gonna marry her probably only because she's worth fucking billions. So plus she's like a fine bottle of
Donnie?
She definitely gets better with age.
All right, so we got Shakira, J-Love, and Christina.
No, not J-Lo.
I can't marry J-Lo. I can't marry J-Lo. I can't fuck her either. Like, she crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go bang Shakira, marry Christina. But I don't need like chunky Christina. I need like sexy Christina.
There you go.
All right.
No
So
chunkies.
here we go. J-Love, I'm with you on 1. God dang. Oh my gosh. Russell, you go. I'm still thinking. God dang it.
All right. So I am going to kill J-Lo just simply because from all accounts, she is a total fucking douche canoe in the words of
That's
J-Lo.
what fucking turns me on.
I'm also with you, J Love, on Christina. I'm gonna fuck her because she's probably a wild one. And then I'm gonna marry Shakira because have you guys seen her even lately? Oh my god.
Dude, have you seen J-Lo even lately?
I've never found her that attractive, to be honest with you, Coach.
Oh my
I really
gosh.
haven't.
Me and you are gonna fucking fist fight when this is done. All right.
Christina.
What'd you say? What'd you say, J-Love?
I said she's definitely into that dirty Sanchez, so you got that going. Maybe even the rusty trombone, Cleveland Steamer, something.
Yeah.
What the
All
fuck?
right. I'm gonna start with a kill. I hate to do it, but I have to kill Christina Aguilera. I hate to do that. I am definitely gonna go Shakira, and I'm gonna fuck her once. But J Lo's always been it's always been just, God dang it, I'm gonna marry J Lo. Have you seen this latest movie that she's in?
That Shotgun Wedding?
Yes, dude.
Yeah,
Dude, there's not a wrinkle in her. That's a good one, dude. And I love Christina Aguilera. God dang. Russell, these fucking things are too tough, but
That's why I put some thought into them. So
God dang. 1, 2. I mean, there's one real Mexican and 2 half breeds. I love them. They're all fucking crazy. Guys, I got a question for you guys. You're at work. You jump in your car to come home. And the day, the sky's turning gray. And there's fucking lights going off and your alarms going off on your phone and the world's going ape shit. The apocalypse is here. And you know it. The apocalypse is here. What would you do? It's coming. There's fucking bullets flying, there's planes flying, there's smoke everywhere. I mean, the world's going to shit right now. The world's going to shit. I'm going to go to Donnie first because I think this is going to be the longest one. Donnie, what would you do right now?
World's going to shit.
So the apocalypse, brother, it's here. It is civil war. It is just going down.
World War III.
It's coming down right here in your backyard. And you get in your truck, what are you going to do?
Well, I mean, if I think I've got a survival chance, I'm probably going to get my boys. I'm probably going to piss some people off because I know my ex-wife thinks she can handle them better than I can. But truth be known, fucking ain't happening. At that point, I have a good stash of things that can get me through. I'm then going to raid as much food and ammunition as I can. And I'm headed to the country. I'm headed to the woods where ain't nobody gonna see me. And I know the places around here. I mean, I can go 30 miles deep in a truck and good luck following me. I mean, I'm up in the mountains and I'll start building. I'll start getting shelter and working on that and just hunkering down. I mean, but I'm gonna go grab my boys first.
Wow. That's a great fucking answer. Like that's the first time I've ever heard anybody say, I'm going to the woods. I'm going to the fucking woods and I'm gonna build my shelter. I mean, because I know what I'm gonna do, and I've already talked to my buddy about this. So I actually have a plan in place for just this. J Love, what would you do?
Well, first off, 2 is 1, 1 is none. That's definitely the way to look at things for me. By that, I just mean that I've always got 2 flashlights, 2 knives, 2 guns on me at all time. So with that, I mean, I definitely would be set because you said leaving work, coming to the house, right?
Yeah, and yeah, what's your plan? I mean, let's say you okay, I'll go in for let's say you make it home. What
From I knew that I would be okay by the time that I got to the house. I mean, if heaven forbid something like that ever does happen, and when it does happen, I mean, the entire subdivision will be gone. By that, I just mean something. If something mysteriously blew up in my house, just trust me, this entire subdivision would be gone.
right.
I've got so much. There's enough artillery in here to fucking start World War III. I would call up a couple buddies of mine with DPS, fly out to pick up my daughter in Odessa, get her back here to make sure that she's safe here with me. Hunker down here, and coincidentally, I've got some property out in the middle of fucking nowhere that no one even knows where I would be. I would eventually make out there. We would literally, we would definitely be living on the end for the rest of our fucking life. I mean, I didn't raise no bitch, and I didn't raise no, little passel of bitches either. So every one of these motherfuckers know how to clean some shit. So it's
Gotcha.
feast or famine, and
Russell,
we would definitely.
Russell, you're hearing. So here's the thing with Russell. He's here in Bastrop, and his boy and daughter are in Belton.
Yep.
Russell, what would you do?
First thing I would do,
Copper, to go get them too.
well, first thing I would do is come to my RV. I'll get my guns and ammunition, my propane, my gas, my fishing poles, everything that I could do to make it back up there. Take the back way, stay off the highway. I can make it there, I'm sure. Get to my house, get my kids, get my son's mother, go to my parents' house, which is a couple miles away. My dad makes his own ammo. Hunker down with them. They live right off the lake, and we may or may not make it, but there'll be a lot of return fire from that fortified bunker there. So, and I do have a box for. We've got the crank radio and the crank flashlight and all that. So we have a doomsday box, and we have some supplies at the house for that because I do think unfortunately that day may end up coming. So I do have some provisions in place for that.
Probably sooner than we expect.
Mm-hmm.
So my first order of business would be to get home, which I'm only 4 minutes from my work. Get home and load up all of my guns, all of my ammo, everything we can from both of my fridges and all my fishing gear. And we're going right down there where Russell is right now. I've talked about this with Bobby J. He's got his house on stilts. Go there first and foremost to formulate a plan. Because Bob's going to have his brother Will and his mama and all that. So formulate a plan. Now we do have land in LaGrange, was about 40 minutes away. And if there was any way to get there, I would take that. But yeah, that would be my first and foremost, J Love. I mean, you've been down there to Bobby's. That would be the first thing that I would do is I can't, my ex-wife and my daughter are in Houston. So, I mean, good luck. You're going to have to fend for yourself because I don't have the number for a helicopter. So y'all are just going to have to fend for yourself.
The vantage point from Bobby J's is ideal. I mean, you can see
it is.
50 yards.
And if we decided to stay at Bobby J's, we would burn the stairs on both sides. Like you're going to have to climb your ass up there. His house is on 20-foot fucking stilts down by the river. So, that's why I keep Bobby J really close to me. We're really good friends. If something like that were to,
I would say if I didn't have children and a single man, I would stay here and fortify here, but that can't do it.
Well, I do have a child, but I'm not going to make it 2 hours 2 hours on the road
Right.
to Houston. So I'm gonna
Well, then
sit
I'll make
here.
sure water too.
There we go. Hey, before we leave, we got about 10 minutes left because I really, really want to believe. And so you see my Phoebe Cates here. I've got 3 more coming. Daisy Duke, Farrah Fawcett, but I've got something like this. It's got a UFO, and under it says "Make me a believer." Have y'all come up with anything new to get me on your side and make me believe that there are aliens out there?
Go to abovetopsecret.org and
Hold
just
on.
just start reading.
Say that again.
Above Top Secret. You'll see it's a message board based website.
Okay.
And you'll get a lot of fake stuff in there. I mean, there is some, so you just have to weed through it, but there's a lot of stuff in there that's really good, like firsthand accounts, firsthand videos, and then they go on to, some go on to be on the web or whatever. But yeah. And there's also some news articles there.
J-Love?
What?
Hey, let's leave everybody with something.
You know what? I mean, there's definitely skinwalkers out there, shapeshifters, reptilians. I mean, they're out. Just gotta
be full of shit.
No, you just have to be willing to open yourself up and realize that.
I'm willing to show it to me.
Well, I'm just saying.
So am I.
You've got to do your own research.
So am I. Yep, show me one.
We need your research item.
I want to meet one. I want to say hi. I want to hug one. I want to buy one a beer.
Well, I think it goes even further than that. I think where you're going with what you want to do, you need to watch that movie Paul with fucking Simon Pegg, and Seth Rogen plays the voice of the alien. That's the movie.
Gentlemen, let's leave our people with something positive, something funny, or something before we close out. I'm going to leave them. J-Love, you have anything? Got a joke or anything for him?
No, I mean, mine was actually serious. I think hug your loved ones. Tell them you love them.
There you go.
Because tomorrow is never guaranteed. I saw the news today that a friend, actually one of my aunts who's no longer here, one of her best friends was battling cancer for the longest time. And, she finally lost her battle, gained her wing. She's now up in heaven, chilling with my dad, my aunt, and countless others. She's probably fucking rescuing animals and doing some metaphysical shit now with my aunt. But I saw a post from her husband.
Really?
Yeah, and it was basically her, kind of like her obituary that's going to be published and everything. But he had posted that, but it was just his words. He said, half my soul is gone. And,
wow.
You never really realize how important folks are until they're gone.
Wow.
So take that time and tell the people that you really care about, you do love them, that you do appreciate them, that you do care for them, and that the world is a much better place with them in it. And try and leave a positive impact on as many people as you come across. no matter how fucking shitty they may be to you. Come at them with something, kill them with kindness. Because we don't ever really know what anybody else is dealing with.
No.
So, I mean, rest easy, young lady, and here's to you.
Yes. Thank you so much for that, J-Lo. Donnie Nolan.
He just got me. Come back to me on that one. That's I had one and then J-Lo killed it.
My bad.
He killed it in a good way. Russell, what do you got?
Thanks, man.
Well, I'll go funny here. If your wife or your significant other, and you're married and you want to go do something with your buddies, don't ask her, don't tell her about it. Just go. Turn your phone off. Be a man.
Turn your location off first.
And most importantly, be a man.
Oh, he's turning your location off. Oh, he's
Y'all
turning.
kill me. Y'all kill me.
Oh, Russell, you're so full of shit. I can smell it over here. My gosh.
I can't even.
Donnie?
I can't even. I'm done.
You're done?
I had something good and they have killed it. Golly. Yeah, I'd saved it up.
That's all right.
And they just blew it. Yeah.
You're
Thanks,
all right.
Buzz.
Hey, so I know the only reason I keep bringing
Oh, wait. I got it.
Okay, here we go. Go ahead.
We saw we saw two things this weekend, and you can believe it or not, but Kansas City versus the Bengals, the game was not called at the best of the ability. You saw
We
the
already
Bengals.
This was in the pregame.
Hang on. You saw the Bengals handle it with maturism and class and
Are you
pride.
sure?
Oh yeah, I mean, you didn't see them crying and throwing a fit on the sidelines.
Did you see all the shit talking before the game?
Okay, shit talking before the game is different. When the game is taken from you because you got 5 downs, you did get an extra down in there for no reason. They didn't throw a fit.
That is true.
Then you see on the other side somebody get a little, and just literally go into a fucking bitch fit and throw the biggest fit I've ever seen on an NBA court. Remember, when life kicks you, you have two things to do. You can get up and move on, or you can sit there and cry about it.
Or you can call it a LeBron. You can LeBron.
And the GOATs never cry.
I love it. So mine is this. I know
Sideline when he roughing the passer call he got called. He was crying like a little bitch on the side.
So I know I bring this up every week. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
But now I agree with you. It was questionable calls both ways for sure. There was a lot of missed calls both ways, and a lot of like, what the fuck did you just call that for? And same with the Eagles and the Niners. It was the same way. So, of course,
but you didn't see any of those NFL teams throw like the bitch fit LeBron did.
No.
That's what I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. I'm not talking about that. I'm not talking about the calls. I'm talking about the way you handle yourself.
Well, two completely different things. And then, we can go back to, the LeBron v. Michael thing, or even LeBron versus Kobe. The difference between the two or the three, since we're a three-headed monster here, LeBron, as opposed to Michael and Kobe, that he's not a finisher. He doesn't have killer instinct. He doesn't know anything about that. He tends to be very passive sometimes. And I think when he tends to be passive is when the wheels start to fall off. And he begins to look like the soccer player that coach said he should be. Because honestly, that's when he at his it's absolutely ridiculous to watch a grown man throw a fit like a 5 middle of Toys R Us because he didn't get the latest Barney deed or whatever.
I agree.
Yes, anyway. So I have no respect for him. I'm not saying he's not a great player, and I'm not saying that he's not going to surpass every fucking record that's out there because he's been in the league forever. I mean, look at his hairline. Jesus.
Thank you, everybody. That's another Wednesday. Whiskey and Wisdom. Man, I'm fucking drunk. Whiskey and Wisdom After Dark. Thank you for another great week, you guys. Follow, please go to YouTube, like, share, and subscribe to us. Thank you very much. We'll be back next week. Gentlemen, thank you for being on. I appreciate everything y'all have going on. Hey, y'all don't be a little bitch this week. Go out there and overcome something. I dare you to fucking overcome something. Whatever it is, go out there and do something that sucks and make your body better. I love you guys. Whiskey and Wisdom, we're out.